1. The biology of stress and cortisol. The body's central stress response system is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, component hormone chemical released function. Hypothalamus in the brain, corticotropin-releasing hormone (CRH), signals the pituitary gland to start the stress response. Pituitary gland in the brain. Adrenocorticotropic hormone (ACTH) travels through the bloodstream to signal the adrenal glands. Adrenal glands atop the kidneys. Cortisol, a glucocorticoid, the primary stress hormone that acts on almost every cell in the body. Export to sheets. Cortisol's acute function, the fight or flight help. In a moment of acute stress, a surge of cortisol is beneficial, preparing the body for immediate action by increasing blood glucose. It triggers the liver to produce more sugar for quick energy to the muscles and brain. Suppressing non-essential functions. It temporarily slows down the digestive, reproductive, and immune systems. Regulating response. Cortisol also helps terminate the stress response through a negative feedback loop, telling the hypothalamus and pituitary gland to stop releasing CRH and ACTH once the danger has passed.
2. The impact of chronic stress and high cortisol. When stress is unrelenting, the HPA axis remains overactivated, and the negative feedback loop can become dysregulated. The body is in a constant state of allostatic overload, leading to hormonal and cellular damage. Hormonal and systemic dysregulation. Hormone impact of chronic stress. Consequences. HPA axis dysregulation. High flat cortisol. The normal circadian rhythm, high in the morning, low at night, is lost, and overall cortisol levels may remain elevated or become blunted. Mood disorders, linked to anxiety and major depressive disorder. Metabolic health, increased blood sugar. Chronic cortisol promotes gluconeogenesis and can lead to insulin resistance and co-elevation of cortisol and insulin. Weight gain and diabetes. Promotes fat deposition, especially in the face and abdomen, and increases the risk of type 2 diabetes. Immune system glucocorticoid resistance. Cells become less responsive to cortisol's anti-inflammatory signals, similar to how cells become insulin resistant. Chronic inflammation. The inability to turn off the inflammatory response leads to a sustained, non-resolving inflammatory state, increasing susceptibility to illness, like colds, flu, and chronic inflammatory diseases. Reproductive hormones. Suppression of anabolic hormones. The stress response prioritizes survival over reproduction. Reproductive issues. Can suppress the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal, HPG axis, leading to irregular periods in women and decreased testosterone and sperm production in men. Export to sheets. Cellular and structural changes. Chronic stress goes beyond hormones, directly altering the structure and function of cells, particularly in the brain and DNA. Accelerated cellular aging, telomere shortening. Chronic exposure to stress hormones and high inflammation dampens the activity of an enzyme called telomerase. This leads to the shortening of telomeres, protective caps on the ends of chromosomes. Shortened telomeres are a marker of cellular aging and are associated with a higher risk for heart disease, cancer, and other age-related illnesses. Brain remodeling and atrophy. Chronic cortisol exposure is toxic to certain brain regions, notably the hippocampus, crucial for memory and learning, and the prefrontal cortex, involved in decision-making. This can lead to reduced synaptic plasticity, changes in the connections between neurons, dendritic atrophy, shrinkage of nerve cell branches, impaired cognitive function, problems with memory, focus, and learning. Neuroinflammation. Stress leads to the overactivation of brain immune cells, microglia, which increases the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines, like IL-1V. This neuroinflammation is thought to be a key mechanism linking chronic stress to depression and neurodegenerative.
3. Science-backed ways to mitigate chronic stress. Effective stress mitigation focuses on restoring the HPA axis's proper function and reducing the inflammatory and metabolic load on the body. Strategy, action mechanism, science-backed effect. Prioritize sleep. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule, 7 to 8 hours, and limit blue light and caffeine before bed. Sleep deprivation is directly linked to increased cortisol levels and dysregulated cortisol rhythm. Adequate sleep is vital for hormone regulation. Regular exercise. Aim for 150-200 minutes per week of low to moderate intensity activity, e.g., walking, yoga. While intense exercise briefly increases cortisol, regular moderate exercise reduces overall chronic cortisol levels and increases resilience to acute stress. Mind-body practices. Practice deep breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, or Tai Chi for at least 5 minutes several times a day. These activities activate the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, which directly counteracts the fight or flight response, lowering heart rate, blood pressure, and cortisol.